It was windy today, but hopefully that stays up. Oh, bloody hell, the traffic. Come out on Sunday morning. It's my birthday today, 41 years old, can you believe it? Ugh. It's just another number, it just seems to, they seem to keep racking up now. I think once you hit sort of 30, it just tumbles like that. Before you know it, I'll be 50, so hey ho. You know, take advantage, get out on the bike as much as you can, enjoy what youth you have left, I guess. Yeah, but most of you knew it. I think I pretty much gave it away. I always said there'd always be a Triumph in my life. I bought the Bonneville with the plan of turning it into Scrambler, and like I said on the previous video, I said obviously I looked into changing the exhaust and changing various bits and pieces, handlebars, putting sort of wider handlebars on it and all that kind of stuff. And by the time you've added that all together, you know, you're racking up £3,000–4,000 pounds, if not more. And you can really go to town. And obviously if you plan to keep the bike forever, maybe it's a good investment, because if you're never going to sell it, the thing I find is, if I do, and I know myself, if I do decide to sell the bike in the future, heavily modified bikes tend to actually demand a lower price, I think. I know from my own point of view, if I'm looking at a bike, if anything's been heavily modified, especially if it's structural, I tend to stay away from it. So and knowing how often I change bikes, I thought actually it didn't make sense to go and start changing the bike around. So yeah, so this is my 2023 Triumph Scrambler 900. This is the increased power one. I think it was a 2019 or 2020. I think they increased the power from 55 horsepower to 65. And I have to say, I owned the original Street Twin, which has the same engine, which had the 55 horsepower, and the 10 extra horsepower is definitely noticeable, I think. So I pretty much out the tin. She is absolutely gorgeous. She is what I was going to create with the Bonneville, more or less. You know, I was going to change the tank to black. I was going to do all those bits and pieces. Now I am going to obviously customize this a little bit, but as you can see, I've already added some nice bar-in mirrors. Got rid of the old Mickey Mouse mirrors. Everything else is pretty stock. I probably will do a tail tidy, I think. What do you guys think? Probably go for a high front mud guard. I think I'll have a look at one of those. The bike came with this little flash screen. I can take it or leave it. The same as this grill on the lights. Again, I can take it or leave it. But what's great about this bike is it came with the aftermarket official Triumph LED indicators, both front and back, which is absolutely lovely. And she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's in brilliant condition. Right, let's get on the bike and we'll talk a bit more about her. So there was actually a few bikes I was considering changing for the Bonneville. So the first one, and I actually love this bike, was the Royal Enfield Bear 650. So I test rode that, and I still, to this day, and I actually did a video before I deleted my last channel. I actually had a video on the Bear 650, and let's go down this way. Just driving around aimlessly today, but that's a good thing about not having anywhere to go. Yeah, so I test rode the Bear 650, and I actually still, to this day, say it's a better handling bike than this Triumph, which says a lot. Now that was just for me, for my type of riding. You might find it different. I just felt it turned in a little bit better. I think it has the same size front wheel. It's at a 19-inch in the front and an 18 on the rear. The only thing that put me off the Bear is I still have my reservations about Royal Enfield. Now I know that's probably unfounded and it's pretty unfair in this day and age. Most bikes are pretty reliable. But yeah, I'm still a Triumph man. I'm still, you know, a bit of a Triumph fanboy. And if I can only have one bike, I think one of them's got to be a Triumph. If I could have two, then maybe a Triumph and something else. I don't know. I need to get over that. Ever since I discovered them, I've absolutely loved them. It's a bit like that thing where, you know, when people have iPhones and people have Android, you're either an iPhone or an iOS user or an Android user. And there always seem to be arguments over which is best. Don't know. So yeah, yeah, I tried the Bear. Now the bike I probably really deep down want is the Triumph Scrambler 1200X, but I haven't on purpose test ridden that bike because I know if I do, I'll fall in love with it. Now the problem with the 1200X is that I think it came out in 2024 or maybe 2023, but it's relatively new. So used examples are still around the 10 grand, 10,000 pounds mark. And that's just a little bit more than I want to spend right now on a bike. So I went for the 900 instead. Now the problem is that when you see that bike, I know that if I test ride it, it'll then stick in my head, so I'm not going to test ride it now. That might be an upgrade. I also have to say, I miss my speed twin, and I did consider going back to a speed twin, and I just can't justify having a third speed twin. What would you guys think? But I have to say, that is still my favourite bike, my favourite Triumph is that speed twin. And I wish I hadn't sold it, or I wish I could have the space and the money to keep them both. But anyways, so yeah, so this is a Triumph Scrambler 900 2023 model, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's got torque for days. How does this compare? So if you're looking at a T100 and you're also looking at the Scrambler or Street Twin, they're all got similar engine. I think they all got the same engine, just slightly different chassis. The Bonneville is obviously a lot heavier. It's a little bit more classically styled. I say a little bit more, it's a lot more classically styled. So if you're in between, I think the biggest difference for me on this Scrambler that I can feel, obviously my Bonneville had the smaller engine, so I had the 55 horsepower, not the 65. But I have had a Bonneville T100 with the 65 horsepower engine, so I know that one well. And I think the biggest difference for me is the riding position. So the Bonneville is not sporty at any sense, but you're definitely a little bit more forward. This bike, I'm pretty much bolt upright. I have to say also, I found the stock seats on this bike a lot more comfortable. I don't know if it's just a little bit wider than the Bonneville standard Benz seats. But overall, I wouldn't say it's much different. Now, the main thing you notice on this bike over a Bonneville and a Speed Twin 900 or Street Twin is obviously the exhaust, and I can feel it on my leg, but I can't feel any heat. Now today it's pretty chilly, it's about 15 or 16 degrees, so it's not exactly warm, and I'm guessing if you're in stop-start traffic in town, you'll notice that exhaust a lot more, that heat coming off. But I have to say, at the moment I haven't noticed it, but what I do notice, and I will get used to it, is that my right leg is just ever so sticking out a little bit more than my left. And I guess that's this is the first time I've ever ridden a bike or had a bike with a high level exhaust, so I guess this is just something I'll have to get used to. So as I said, today is my 41st birthday, and I've come out, and I thought I got out early on Sunday morning. The wife's given me a free pass. It's not very often. She says, go out on the bike, take as long as you want. I've normally got an hour here, an hour there. So I've got a little bit more time today, which is absolutely great. So I thought I'd get out quite as early as possible. And of course, you know, when I get out, everybody else seems to have done the same thing. So I'm stuck in traffic here. So anyways, I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Let's clear some of this traffic and find some quieter roads. Right guys, so you tell me, did I make the right decision here? So did I trade in my T100 for this lovely Triumph Scrambler 900? I think so. This is a bike you can ride through the winter. You know, you can get it mucky. Okay, any bike through salted roads through the winter is going to obviously have issues. And yes, there are still spokes on this, but there's just so much less chrome to worry about. You know, everything's sort of blacked out, everything looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy to have this bike ride through the winter. It's got heated grips. It's got, you know, super comfy. It's got the little screen on the front. So I think it's going to be a good little bike for the winter. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, what do you guys think? An upgrade from the T100? A downgrade? A sideways move? I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. if you guys have watched this far, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please do hit that subscribe button and the like button, but especially that subscribe button. It does mean the world, and it's great to see the subscriber counts. We're sort of heading our way towards that 1,000 subscribers, and that's going to make such a big difference for the channel and for me. And of course, if you have any questions about this Triumph Scrambler 900, please put them in the comments. I'm happy to try and answer. And if you've got any ideas for future videos that you want to see on this bike, let me know. This bike's been reviewed to death, but I'm sure there's you know, for someone who's an owner rather not just a reviewer, I'm sure you have some questions you want to ask. And if you were looking at the T100, the Street Twin 900, or even a Speed Twin 1200, all bikes I've owned and know quite well, then put those comments in if you're undecided, and I'll answer the questions for you. Ultimately, you need to choose what's right for you. But if I can give you an honest owner's review, non-biased, then I can help. Anyway guys, really appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next one.